Hey guys, check out my braids, check out my braids. I got my braids done, did it myself. Hey, welcome back to SheaMoisture's virtual series. My name is Keina Morgan, your curl educator. Today, we will be talking about 10 ways how you can retain length. Together with SheaMoisture, we've partnered up to create tutorials, tips and tricks, styling technique videos, and simple things that you can do at home. So stay tuned. There's going to be a load of information in this video. I can't wait to get it started. So let's get right into it. So today I'll be talking about 10 ways that you can retain length in your hair. See, the problem is a lot of different curl types struggle with retaining length. So I'm going to be breaking down some of the things that we can do to actually keep that length in your hair. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about on how to retain length is protective styling. I have to say, this is the ultimate way for retaining length in your hair. Just like what I've got here, I've put my hair in single braids. The reason being is because I wanted to reduce the amount of manipulation that occurs in my natural hair through just regular brushing and all that stuff. I'm going to be attempting this at home. You can use little elastic bands to band each square inch section in, and then you can use your braids and attach them on afterwards. It's a very simple method and easier for you to do at home. Next, we have two-strand twists. I love two-strand twists because they are the most simplest protective style that you can do on your own. It is very, very easy to do. It's almost like a rope twist. So you can do them singled as well, like single braids, but instead of plaits, you're actually doing twists. The smaller you do these twists, the longer your hair will last. I'm going to do an example of a braided twist on you. It's going to be a flat twist updo. I call them a flat twist updo. Very simple, something you can do at home. So stay tuned for that, and I will show you exactly how I do that on my sister's hair. It's important to get your hair trimmed. What happens on the ends of your hair is that the longer the hair is on your head, so the lifetime of your hair tends to be more porous. So because the ends tend to be a little bit more porous, you want to take a little bit more extra time with the ends of your hair, and that is why protective styling is amazing for length retention. So little trims every few months is key. If you have type 1 and 2 curls, you can last about 6 months before trimming your ends again. It's typically because you have a very smooth cuticle layer and the hair doesn't bend and turn as much. Now, if you have curl type 3s and 4s, you might want to trim your hair every 4 months. Reason being is the more curlier your hair, the more susceptible it is for damage. Then there is fine, fragile hair. Now, if your hair is fine or fragile, it tends to be cottony or it breaks quite easily, you might want to consider trimming your hair every 3 months. And keep in mind, I'm not talking about a cut, it's simply a little trim. A trim should be about ½ an inch of hair to an inch, okay? Or 1 full curl, all right? So keep that in mind when considering how often to trim your ends. All right, so do you want to know some signs to tell when you need a trim? Here we go. All right, so if your ends are breaking, if you see little pieces of hair breaking off every time you touch it or you go through it, you know your hair is breaking, you're gonna need a trim. Some of us might have tangles, fairy knots. They're little knots that tend to tangle together with each other on the ends of your hair. Those are called fairy knots. That's when you know you need to trim your hair. Clip those ends. Another sign that you might need a trim is if your ends look really frizzy. A lot of people that do a lot of flat ironing, a lot of heat styling, tend to have a lot of splitting on the ends, which makes the hair look quite frizzy. So if you are experiencing frizz, just clip those off. Another way that you can tell that you have damage and you need a trim is simply from environmental damage. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but the sun can tarnish the hair, and you'll see this more in kids' hair, maybe after summer, after a lot of swimming, but there tends to be like a little bit of a lighter discoloration on the hair. That's a sign of damage, and it will typically look frizzy, but that's when you know it's time for a trim. Next, we have tip number 3, and that's basically scalp exfoliation and scalp treatments. And it's so important to have clean scalp when you're trying to retain length in your hair. This is not just going to retain length, but it's also going to help with shedding hair and itching, flakiness, and drying, all of the above. Here are some tips on why scalp exfoliating treatments are amazing for retaining length. Scalp exfoliations. These are imperative for hair growth. Reason being is because it helps to unclog your follicles. It helps to promote healthy blood circulation. It also helps to reduce dryness and hair loss. It removes buildup. By exfoliating, you're helping to scrub and lift all the buildup off your hair, and that typically helps amazingly for reducing all sorts of scalp conditions as well. Okay, so a scalp exfoliating treatment should be done once a month, and it should always be followed up with a sulfate-free shampoo, which goes into tip number 4. You should always have a sulfate-free shampoo within your regime when retaining length especially. These cleansers, I like to call them cleansers because they are very gentle. They help to hold on to the natural essential oils that are in your scalp and your hair. It helps to lock in moisture, which is key. When it comes on to choosing the right sulfate-free shampoo, at SheaMoisture, we got a few that I would love to share with you. All right, so here we have the MANUKA Honey and Yogurt Hydrate and Repair Shampoo. It is great for extreme dryness and breakage. So something like this will help to retain your length. So tip number 5 is deep conditioning treatments. Deep conditioning treatments are great for adding luster and shine within your hair. It helps with manageability so you can get through it with ease. So SheaMoisture has deep conditioning treatments that you can use at home. They have the MANUKA and Honey Yogurt Hydrate and Repair Conditioner. I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like this. Again, this is really good. This product is really good for extremely dry, brittle hair. So this will help to really give you a good condition and deep treatment. They also have the Moringa and Avocado Power Greens Reconstructor. It looks like this. And this is great for extreme dryness. It nourishes and transforms weak, dull, curly, coily hair. So we're gonna move on to tip number 6. Nutrition. Let's talk about nutrition. Nutrition is key. Superfood number 1 are Brazil nuts. These are filled with antioxidants and it helps to prevent cellular damage. So next we have buckwheat. Buckwheat is a grain that is a source of vitamin B complex, which is great for healthy hair growth. Superfood number 3 is honey. Honey is magnesium rich. It's linked to scalp circulation and it helps to increase healthy, shiny hair. Next, we have kiwi. Kiwi is filled with zinc, which is great for promoting hair growth. It helps to reduce hair loss and it helps to prevent dandruff. Last superfood is eggs. Eggs are a great, generous source of biotin, which is essential for preventing hair loss, frizzy hair, and damaged hair. Tip number 7 for retaining length is to stay hydrated. Drinking water is key to essential hair growth. Think of your hair as like a plant. As much as plants need water, so does your hair. Okay, we should drink at least 2 liters of water daily. This will help to increase hair growth. So water is very important. Drink it up. It's good for you. It helps your hair to grow. Stay hydrated. Tip number 8 is avoiding highlights by all means necessary. If you're trying to retain length in your hair, you definitely want to keep the structure of your hair healthy. What bleaching does is a chemical that breaks down the structure and the pigment of your hair. So bleaching your hair penetrates the cuticle with chemicals, which changes the actual structure of the hair. It's the pigments that hold the structure of your hair together. So by changing the structure of your hair, it helps in turn to damage it even more. It makes your hair more susceptible to damage. Tip number 9, reduce the amount of manipulation and physical damage that occurs over time in your hair. Stay away from flat irons, heat styling, any sort of high manipulation styling, including brushing vigorously, combing, dry hair. You can try sleeping with a silk bonnet or a silk pillowcase. This helps to reduce the amount of friction at night, which helps in turn protect the hair from being damaged. All right, we're on to our final tip, which is sometimes it's best just to start fresh. Imagine having a whole bunch of different textures in your hair, a lot of damage beyond repair. Sometimes it's best to just shave it all off, cut it down, and start fresh. The beauty about starting fresh is that you can try out new and cool different styles like pixie cuts. You can try out a tapered cut. You can try really cute styles like finger waves and all that good stuff. But you'll be able to feel a sense of renewal. It's great because you'll actually be able to see your new texture growing out, which is perfect if you've never actually seen your texture before. A lot of people that are transitioning tend to be relaxing their hair for quite a bit. So once you do that big chop, you start fresh, you will definitely be able to appreciate your natural texture, enjoy the different transitions that it goes through as you are growing your hair out, and have fun with it. Chops also encourage fullness and more healthier appearance in your hair. So a lot of times when you have damage in your hair, it tends to be more thinner towards the ends. So doing a big chop will be able to have everything grow out fresh and together. So let's do a rundown of the 10 best ways to retain length. 1, protective styles. 2, trims, getting regular trims, very important. 3, you want to make sure you use scalp. You want to do scalp treatment, exfoliating treatments on a regular basis, at least once a month. Definitely use a sulfate-free shampoo. This is going to encourage more softness in your hair. Then you want to always make sure you're deep conditioning at least once a month. It could be once every 2 weeks, or for really extreme damaged hair, once a week. You also want to keep in mind that hydration is key. Also, your diet is important as well, so making sure you get those superfoods in, and also cutting down on bleaching and highlighting your hair, high tension styles, manipulation, like really extreme manipulation, hair manipulation, you want to cut that out. And then last but not least, you might just want to start fresh and just cut it all off. All right, so here we have my sister, Tana Jo. We're going to be doing a flat twist updo, and I'm going to be showing you what products we're going to be using from SheaMoisture to achieve this look. So we're going to be using the Curl Enhancing Smoothie as her moisturizer. Just going to take a little bit of this and sparingly apply it all over her hair. This is just going to help give a little bit of extra added moisture, as as we go through this protective style. I'm also going to use a little bit of edge tamer on her edges, and that's just going to help to slick everything in slightly. This is the best I could find at the moment, so we're just going to use what we can to create this look. So with a flat twist updo, you can make it super simple. It does not have to be complicated at all. So what I like to do first is part out my section in the top here. So I'm going to do that by leaving out the crown area. And then so everything else around here, we're gonna use and bring it up. So you can be very creative with this. I'm gonna just do a drastic diagonal parting. The scalp is a little dry, so I'm going to put a little bit of oil on her scalp. So we're doing a flat twist braid, which is taking 2 strands and twirling them around each other. Very simple, but very protective at the same time. This style can last you about a good 3 to 5 days, depending on the size and how well you keep it at night. And I'm just gonna make sure I twirl all the way to the ends, because the key to protective styling is making sure that the ends are tucked in nice and safely. So you can see she has some break-in. She definitely needs a trim. All right, I'm gonna continue with my diagonal partings just to create some emphasis throughout the back. As you can see, I'm not using the comb to like comb through her hair. I'm trying to be very gentle so I'm not ripping through her hair. Because she has all these little hairs at the back, we're gonna try and define them. So I'm gonna try and gather everything into this twist. And this is all creative. You can really just have your imagination go wild. According to the person's head shape and their hairline, you can improvise. Just gonna redo the back because we have to measure out the shape for the back so everything fits. So for the top, I'm gonna do something called a double flat twist. Sorry, a triple flat twist. I'm gonna combine 3 flat twists into one to create some sort of faux hawk look on the top. So I'm just basically just planning it out how I want it to kind of flow. I will flat twist this section here though, just to ease the amount of time that it might take. So I have one flat twist here. I have another one here that I'm creating. And I'm making it very loose so we can have a fuller look on top. We want to create height. And yes, you can totally wear this to the gym. You can wear it to work. Just a protective style at night. Something that looks cute. So now I'm going to take these 3 and I'm going to combine them into one. So I'm going to go under with these guys. Let this sit here. I'm going to take these guys. And I'll just twist it into this guy here. And twist this guy into these guys here. The flat twists are complete. We're going to lock it into that updo that I was talking about. So we're going to take some bobby pins and we are going to stick them in one at a time. I'm just going to turn her around so you can see the full 360. All right, so it goes up in the back really nicely. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the back here and we're going to twirl it up lightly. And then here's the other side over here. Okay, so as you can see, we have a little bit of a little poof on the top, and that helps to give some dimension and some face framing. So we're gonna turn this way, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lightly twirl these guys in together. My bobby pin, and I'm just going to create a foundation. All right, and then these guys here, I'm gonna twist these back down. And this is all intuitive, so just try and work with whatever the hair is giving you. Twist it in, lock it in, and then voila. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode on retaining length. On behalf of myself, Keina Morgan, and SheaMoisture, we want to say thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already for more hair tutorials, fun fill events, and more with SheaMoisture virtual series. Bye for now.